Childish Gambino, Duran Jones, Bass Nectar, Mumford & Sons. Even though it seems as if these artists come from completely different worlds, they are actually deeply connected by a recent movement we have decided to call retrograding. Retrograding is a broad term that is used to identify contemporary songs and artists that feel as though they are floating between time periods by incorporating musical elements from the past. Retrograding itself can be broken down into two main schools, each with specific characteristics. The first is revivalism, where the goal of the artist is to replicate an earlier genre so closely that it seems as if the song could have been plucked straight out of any radio station during that decade. Revivalist artists are different than cover bands because the majority of a revivalist material is original. The second school of retrograding is sampling, in which the artist uses select sound bites or musical techniques of an earlier genre in order to create a dialogue between decades that produces a sound that is entirely new. Sampling lends itself to vast amounts of creativity based on an artist's individual influences, and even just one soundbite can be incorporated into a number of different genres. As we look closer at retrograding in the last 10 years, it becomes apparent that the genres being alluded to the most are blues and soul from the 1960s and 70s. The essence of Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, and others is re-emerging into the larger public consciousness, with many consumers being too young to have experienced this essence the first time around. So why this genre? And why now? What about blues and soul has suddenly resonated with audiences 50 years after its creation? Well, it's not merely coincidence. Instead, the same socio-political climate that influenced music in the 60s and 70s has returned today. Both generations are connected by rapid technological innovation, a moment of overwhelming political hope, subsequently crushed by the election of outwardly bigoted presidents, economic recessions characterized by massive unemployment, and an increasing tension that precedes a wave of civil rights activism. It feels as though the world is moving too fast, and we are scared of where it's headed. Retrograding in the form of 60s and 70s blues and soul can then be explained as the inevitable product of our nostalgia for a simpler time and a musical style that reflects longing, heartbreak, hopelessness, but also resistance. As you move throughout the playlist with the first half exemplifying revivalism and the second half exemplifying sampling, look for the ways in which the artists either consciously or subconsciously use retrograding to comment on the state of the world and their position within it. By contemplating retrograding as a sociological process rather than just a genre, we can identify how the spacelessness and timelessness of music makes it so powerful that it can alter our past, present, and future. If history is doomed to repeat itself, the music must be doomed to remix it.